Let's see. Pull that one off. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go. 3, 2, and 1. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Persuasion by the Pint. I am Jonathan Taylor, along with
Sean McCool.
Sean, we've got a really good topic. You know, we can't get off this AI kick. So, but we're going to come at it from a little bit different angle today.
Yes.
So you've got the guest. I'm going to let you introduce or kind of tease what this episode is going to be about.
Yeah. So I met, her name is Mary Kathryn. I met her, 5 years ago at a conference. I think it's probably been almost 5 years, 4 years, something like that. She was doing some really kind of forward stuff back then with messenger bots and things like that. And we've kept in touch off and on. And I noticed on her profile on Instagram that she was doing some new stuff with AI to create and without needing coders to create little like mini SaaS companies, right?
Yep.
Because everybody wants a SaaS company because it's recurring revenue and it's stickier than a membership site, right? So I thought that was really cool. So I reached out to her. So she's going to be on the show today, and she's not big on like bios and stuff like that. So we're just going to go ahead and bring her on.
She got a beverage. She does.
She does have a beverage. So we're going to be bringing her on. So if you want to queue up the audience, get ready, and we'll bring on Mary Kathryn Johnson.
All right. Welcome to the show. Whoop, I just threw her back in. All right. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Mary Kathryn.
Thank you, Jonathan and Sean. Very happy to be here.
And you just put in the comments, you think you've been, or in the chat, you think you've been on before?
I don't remember. I think I have. It was a long time ago, but this is seeming really familiar. Having a glass of alcoholic beverage at about 1 p.m. for me Pacific time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
totally unique to us because
I know. I swear, if we went back in the archives, it was probably several years ago, definitely before COVID. And I think I've been here before. I'm having some deja vu.
We'll have to go back and look because I know I wanted you on. I just wasn't sure if we'd had you on. I didn't check. But this is a new topic anyway. So even if you've been on before, this is going to be a new, and I'm excited to hear about this because this looks really interesting. So I'm excited to hear more about it and, tap into this AI.
Especially this Podbot. That's as a podcaster, I am extremely
I knew Jonathan
intrigued about this.
Yeah. Well, just like you, Sean, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. I can't just do one thing and just stay doing one thing forever. I think that's my definition of death, to be honest. Do one thing when I die, which is basically lay there or be ashes and we're done. But
and even that's up for debate, right? That's up for debate. Well, how much we'll be doing. So
who knows? But I can't do it now. So
well, give us like a 1 or 2 sentence tease for the episode because you tease it and then we'll go into our beverages and then we'll come back to the actual episode. So give us a tease.
All right. Let me
either with a case, like an example or copy or whatever.
Let's say this. How would you like to automate any lead generation you would like to conduct on any social media platform without requiring a developer and code and without worry of getting your account shut down?
Okay.
Sign me up.
That's what we can do.
That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty cool for sure. So that's what's in tune. Stay tuned as we go into our juvenile beer talk section of the show. We had a commenter on YouTube one time tell us our beer talk was juvenile. So now that's the name of the segment, of course.
That's it.
So
they helped you name it.
They did. The crowd always helps you. So, so Mary Kathryn, we'll let you go first since you're our guest. What do you have there in your little glass? Tell us a little bit about it.
That looks like wine.
It is wine. It's a Moscato. It's really my standard barefoot Moscato.
Okay.
This is it.
That's your go-to grocery store wine right there.
You could get Moscato.
I need sweet. I need it to taste good.
Yeah.
I tried to do a rum and Coke the other day, and oh my God, I couldn't get past a first sip. It's like I haven't drank any kind of Coke,
Ugh.
Cola, or
Yeah.
Pepsi in so long. It's like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't had it for a while, it definitely is. I still love Coke though. That's just me.
I just can't.
I don't do any liquor in Coke though. If I do straight
Straight up.
bourbon So, all right. Well, I'll go next. I've got from Saloon Door Brewing. I've got one called Canadian AF. Let's see. And this, I can't even figure out how to say it. AF. Oh, AF.
Canadian,
yeah.
A.
Canadian AF. Yeah. So it's an imperial cream ale with maple, vanilla, and coffee, and it's 9% alcohol. Got a nice little character here on it, a little moose. So that's a Canadian moose, I assume. So I don't know where the Canadian comes in. I guess the maple.
Good dentist.
Yeah.
Saloon. What is it? Who is it?
Saloon Door Brewing, which I think is up in Fort Worth.
Okay.
Webster, Texas.
Texas has really got some good stuff.
I know. I'm gonna miss that.
You get all these.
I'll be in Cigar City. I'll have to just start doing cigars instead.
That's right. They got their own brewing company down there. I mean,
yeah.
They got the.
Yeah, I have to do that. So what do you have over there, Jonathan? By the way, I already poured mine, so it's definitely the ale look.
Ooh.
You got some fancy stuff over there, Jonathan.
I've got one that smells incredible. It's called a barrel-aged cherry cordial ink. And I didn't know the backstory behind this, but this is from Rheingeist Brewing. The story of ink. So I'm going to hold the bottle up here. Pick this up. This is like a $12 bottle. So I guess the backstory is in 2019, they decided to mark this exciting time of year with Inked, a celebration of all things. So this is celebrating ink on the body, right? Mm-hmm. Wearable, drinkable, otherwise. They invited some of their favorite tattoo studios in the area to the tap rooms for some live tattooing. And guests were able to get some really unique flash work done by their favorite artists. So in celebration of that, they created a series of inks. And I am having the barrel-aged cherry cordial ink from their selection, which is it's 12 and a half ABV. So I will, you will be finishing out the interview, Sean.
Yeah.
It's aged in bourbon barrels with cherry, lime, and natural flavors. And this looks
Mary Kathryn
amazing.
Shaking her head at both of us disapprovingly. That is dark. That is ink.
That is ink, stuff. My friend. That is ink.
I'm thinking of getting my first ink here pretty soon. So
all right.
Not beer.
Really? Are you really getting your first tat?
I am.
That's awesome. I got my first one like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Sean didn't just go start small. I mean, the guy went
full. He went all up.
Full chest.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna do my ring finger. You know, I'm gonna do my ring finger and start there, and we'll see where it leads.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
They put something in that ink that makes you just want more and more. So
yeah, it must be. It's I don't know, but that's
very rarely do you see somebody with one tattoo.
Yeah,
it's very rare.
It's it's an addiction, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's cheers it up, and then we'll do a rating real quick, and then we'll jump into this AI conversation.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, Mary Kathryn, we do a scale of 1 to 5 pints, 5 being the best. Obviously, this is one of your go-tos. So,
it's 5. Yep, it's perfect. Right. It's got the perfect balance of sweetness and alcohol. I'm good.
It's a 5. There you go.
Yeah.
We don't have many of those on the show, so that's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's my perfect.
Yeah, 5 gets an instant applause every time.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go with mine. Mine's actually really good. I've had something similar. And it's a good cream ale. Like it tastes almost like a cream ale soda. Like it's kind of cool. So I'm going to give this a 4.5.
Nice.
Very good. Wow. Yeah. I'm going to have to get that one. You're going to have to send me the link to that one.
Yeah.
I might actually switch to beer here pretty soon if that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Jonathan, how's that $12 bottle of beer?
It's a little, we should know this, Imperial Stout, it is a little sweet. But I feel like it's probably going to get better as it
airs out,
as it sits. So I'm going to give this a 4. I'm going to give this a 4 too. It's pretty solid. It's a little too sweet for me, but like I said, I think with time during the show and a few more drinks, I will probably
it'll be perfect.
I'll it might gain a 0.5 or so.
Got it.
We'll see.
Have you guys ever had a 5?
Oh yeah,
we have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're not very often, but every now and then.
Yeah, probably 1 out of 20, probably 1 out of 30.
Yeah. Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
there you go.
All right.
We don't grade on a scale either.
Yeah. But it's kind of like whose line is it anyway? The points don't really matter. So, but hey,
sometimes we revisit some of the same and we don't remember what we.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then go back and see if you've graded it differently.
That's right.
Different day, different beer, different taste buds.
Every experience is completely different.
So. Whatever you ate before. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump in. I'm excited to hear about this. I am excited to hear about AI, and I need to hide some banners here.
Yes. All right. These banners need to go. There we go.
All right. So, Mary Kathryn, amaze us. The show is yours.
Oh my goodness.
I want to know.
You get to like monologue? Are you kidding?
If you want to, yeah. We'll interrupt you.
No. All right. Questions. I got to talk about this Podbot. All right. Because I know Jonathan was talking about it. So this is an example.
Well, first, before you talk about that, tell our listeners who may have not, if you've been on before, I have not heard this, a little bit about what you do, writing or developing software like this or products like this.
Yes. Well, I'm going to do the really Cliff Notes short version. I started as my first venture into business was the first novelty maternity store online way back in 2003.
Oh, that's cool.
And I used to be a technical recruiter before then. So I had a bunch of techie guys that I'd gotten jobs for that I could basically call on and say, you know what? I got this idea. How the heck do I do this? And they basically told me, okay, this is where you go to build the website because they didn't have a WordPress. It was called Homestead back then. And so it was kind of a semi drag and drop. And so they told me how to do that. Then I'm like, okay, what about shopping carts? I've got it. So I was basically building my own e-commerce store. And I'm good enough to really get myself in trouble. That's about as good as I am. And in terms of development. And so they told me how to do the shopping cart and they told me what tools to get. And I had $5,000 to put into this business and it went amazing. I mean, I just did Google AdWords. This was November of 2003 and just went crazy for Christmas because it was novelty maternity clothing, right? So on the bellies of maternity shirts and like one of them says, don't touch, it kicks. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it went nuts. It was crazy. And I was a superhero solo entrepreneur. So that was my introduction to entrepreneurship and online and tech.
You were like, oh, this stuff's easy.
It was amazing. It was so fun. And then, of course, 2008 hit. We won't talk about that unless you really want to take it on a different tangent. But, that basically started this whole thing. And I've been interested in tech enough, again, to get myself in trouble. But I understand. I can usually translate things and understand a big picture of what a tech is going to do and translate how that works to real humans. And so that skill, basically, I've gone through all of them, Lead Pages and ClickFunnels and, Kartra and, ConvertKit and all the stuff, WordPress, all of it. And until I landed, like Sean had mentioned, I was on chatbots. And that's where I got a nickname, the Chatbot Mom. Because again, I'm a little older than many of these nice little young guys. And so then, doing that. And then, of course, Facebook had schizophrenia beyond the normal schizophrenia in 2020, especially with the, the elections and COVID and all that, and went nuts. And I was contacted by a gal who saw an article that I'd written for Zapier. And she's like, I'd like to talk to you about how you use Zapier. I'm like, sure. You almost always open. Like Sean's like, hey, can we talk about a podcast? I'm like, let's go. I love having conversations. And so I got on a call and she's explaining to me this software that she's developed, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't Zapier. You mean I can do social media? I can go on social media and do lead generation with this automated. She's like, well, yeah, I guess you could do that. I'm like, well, do you guess or can I do it? So basically what this does, what I've switched to now, I mean, I'm still doing chatbots. Don't get me wrong. I love conversations. So I'm not going to leave that. But again, like Sean mentioned, everybody's looking for recurring revenue, sticky stuff. And what I'm doing now with another software and this one, it's called Zero Work. Exactly what the word says. So I, as a subscriber, can go subscribe to this software and have a particular task done for me, automated. And all I got to do is put in my parameters. I don't have to customize a thing, GHL, ClickFunnels, all those things say they're SaaS, but you got to go in and actually customize things according to your stuff. It's just a template that you can use. Well, this is a true, you just go do it. Yep.
Right.
So Zero Work your platform, or is it just a platform that anybody can use to go on there and
anybody can use? And I'll let you in on a secret. We're actually, if you scroll down more, you'll see mine. But we're actually being launched on AppSumo.
Wow.
In February 6th.
Okay.
So yeah, that one. There's the Podbot. Yep. And that's the one where I can go get guests for my own podcast. The one below it is if I want to be a guest on other people's podcasts.
So there's outreach to have guests and to be a guest. That's the difference.
Correct.
Very nice.
That is so cool.
It's so amazing. And I can go in the back end of this and build these, and they're drag and drop. They're conditional logic things. If this, then that. And what they do is they basically mimic any human behavior on any website.
Wow.
So if I want to go up to the search bar of Facebook and put in my search terms, let's say I want to look for leadership podcasts. Well, then I'm going to put that search term and I'm going to take that URL that gives me all that dump list of people. And I'm going to put that in my bot and let my bot go collect all the data, their name, their profile link, their bio, their website, their first post, their latest post, whatever, put that all in a database so that I can go to one place and qualify people if I want. Yes, this one, no, that one, whatever. And then once I qualify them, it will automatically, if I want, send a friend request and then send a personalized DM.
Wow.
And that's for guests, like you're looking for guests for a podcast.
Yes. And also for being a guest on a show. Either one.
Sign me up.
So at what point do you have to become manual in it? Once you get a response, I guess?
Well, then you take over. Yeah. Okay. Then the human. So this is, I'm not a lead scraping fan, right? I'm not get a big old list of people and treat them like they're all the same and send them all the same stuff and just fishing to try and get the numbers and get, 0.1% to respond. No, this is actual relationship building.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just taking the research part out of it, it sounds like, right?
And taking the manual part. I mean, that part of the lead gen is the most difficult, the most time consuming part. So I got this Podbot, the one to find guests. I got that idea from my son. Okay. So my son's 24 and he started editing and producing my podcast when he was 16. And now he has a podcast production company and he has his own daily podcast. That's cool. So I went to him and went, okay, how do you find guests? And he goes, okay, here I go to my suggested friends list because most of his friends have been on his show or part of it. I go to my suggested friends list. I look at each one, open up each one of those suggested friends, check out their name, their profile, their bio, their website, see if they would be a good, guest. Then I reach out to them. I'm like, oh, I can automate that. And so since he's done this,
that's cool. Yeah. And to me, that's a lot of that's a lot of time and effort to go through your friends list and just kind of sort through things. I can't imagine.
That's what he was doing.
Because I use Help a Reporter, but the problem with Help a Reporter is, out of, 30 responses to a query that you post, there may be 2 or 3 that are decent.
Actually
and there's
relevant.
Still a lot of time you've got to sort through, and just to read their responses, and most of them are awful. They don't know how to.
Yeah. And well, that's it. And so usually, not only that, how many times do you get a request to for someone to be on your show,
Right.
and it's just they've never listened to the show, they're just looking at
Exactly. All the time.
yeah, it's constant. So it's really, yes, I love the automation, but I gotta be honest with you, it's just like anything else. Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
So you can gather all that data, you're going to look through and you're going to qualify which ones you really want on your show, but your outreach is the thing that's going to get their attention or not. And so here's my standard, right? And here's what made the difference for my son with his. He was like, "Are you a witch or what?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course I am." So because the copy itself is, "Hey, I'm really enjoying your content. I was just compelled to reach out to you and invite you onto my podcast. If you're interested, let me know and I'll give you the link." Okay, I'm not going to give him a link in the first. That's just spammy, right?
Sure.
Right.
And then I say, "If you're interested, give me, let me know and I'll get you the information. In the meantime, I'll just keep stalking your stuff and loving every minute of it."
Nice.
Well, see, that's good because you're right. So often, the pitch that you get is like, go here, check out, what we do, so it's still there.
Who's
what
it
they're
about?
trying to do is trying to, get you to, promote their stuff or get you first to go to their stuff. But that's great. I like that approach of just saying, you know what, we're still going to keep listening to what you're, or checking out your content.
Well, who's it about? If I'm the one making the ask of them,
Absolutely.
it's not about me, it's about them.
Mhm.
And I do the exact same concept when I'm wanting to pitch myself on a show. I'll do the same thing. I'll say, "Hey, I love your show." And usually, even with that response, I'll say, "Okay, hey, I love your show. I'm enjoying listening to your show. I just really felt compelled to reach out and see if we can connect further. Let me know. In the meantime, I'll keep stalking your stuff and loving every minute of it." That's kind of my standard thing.
That's great.
And that's what my son looked at me and he's like, "You actually say stalking your stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, I'll try that." And his responses, just like my responses, are, "Oh my gosh, this is the best message I've had all day." And some of them, when it's me trying to pitch, of course, you notice in that I didn't pitch anything. I just said, "Let's connect." But even with that, our society is our online society is so used to fake pitches like that. I usually get the response back, especially on LinkedIn. I usually get the response back, "Oh, well, I get people saying they listen to my show all the time. So which episode did you like the best?"
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to, if I haven't listened to the show or if I've just looked at and listened to one episode just to make sure it's a show I want to be on, I will go listen and find a show that I like and then respond with, "Hey, you know what? I really liked what you said on this show."
Sure.
And then keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, just do that little bit of actual work and it's going to get you so much more than setting out 500 DMs of the same damn thing. Excuse me.
So give us an idea of some numbers, like what you're seeing, and maybe the difference between what you're doing the old way.
So I'll use my son as an example.
Okay.
So his name's Evan, by the way. Hey, Evan. He saw an 80% increase in his response rate and a 50% increase in his bookings by using this.
And he saved how much time?
Oh, hours. So his time frame was usually when he would go through this manually, it would take him, usually he would do at least an hour a day. So we're talking at least 7 hours a week. And now this is all automated and he takes not even 5 minutes a day.
To just qualify
to just go through the list. As long as you don't have a list of 1,000 people, you can qualify it pretty quick. So you usually do a list of maybe 50 people at a time. You go through those 50, you find 5 that you like, you find 20 that you like, whatever. And then the bot automatically sends out your request. And there's limits. You don't want your social media shut down. So you're not going to try and send 1,000 DMs a day on Facebook.
Right.
Please don't do that.
Yeah. Right. Do you know what that limit is right now?
Yes, I do. I'd have to get the limit, but I think it's depending on
ballpark.
Yeah, depending on the maturity of your account, how much you actually participate on Facebook. It could be anywhere from 30 on the low side to I think the high side is maybe 50.
Okay.
LinkedIn
I heard that.
LinkedIn actually has a maximum of 100, even if you have Sales Navigator. You can't send more than 100, I think, requests, connection
that makes
requests.
sense because so many recruiters on there, they'd be blowing up the whole platform every day.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, this could be used for sales prospecting too. I mean, it's
okay. Want to talk about that? Yeah. So
definitely.
The other bot that I have on there is called an agency lead generation bot.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have a chatbot agency, there it is. So the agency lead generation bot basically goes and searches for a particular niche. So let's say,
settle down, Jonathan.
I know. So let's say you have a certain niche. So for me in chatbots, I've got to find people who have either done Facebook ads in the past or can do Facebook ads or are currently doing Facebook ads, because that does two things. Number one, they're willing to spend money on marketing services, right?
Yep.
And number two, they understand to put money toward ad revenue. And that is also what chatbots can respond to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you don't have to do it for chatbots. It can be for any kind of service. So you go to the search bar on Facebook, you search for your niche. Let's say for me, it would be health coaches. I'm going to put in health coaches in the search. It'll give me return a result. On the left-hand sidebar, you can pick people, groups, all those things. I'm going to pick pages because my chatbots are attached to Facebook business pages. I pick pages. Now it gives me a result for pages for health coaches. I'm going to take that link, put it in the bot, have the bot give me all those results with all the details, name, profile link, bio, website, all that stuff. I'm going to go look and say, yeah, no. The ones that say, yeah, outreach. The ones that say no, leave it alone.
Wow.
So can you use this on other platforms besides Facebook, or is it
LinkedIn? Because that's where a lot of my,
Jonathan's
a lot of my potential clients. Yeah. I'm in more of the industrial sector, which are, B2B. So I can use this on LinkedIn.
Yep. So not mine specifically, but there's another bot by another one of the bot builders that is a specifically LinkedIn lead gen bot. I use that myself, to be honest, to try and find leads for my pod bot and my agency bot, right? For people who need lead generation. And it does the same thing. It's going to go and get all the data based on your search criteria. And then same thing, you can go in, you can qualify, and it'll automatically send the connection request and the DM.
That's amazing.
That's
so incredible.
Cool. Yep, that's it.
Okay. So,
So if you go to zerowork.io for our listeners, over on the left column, at least on desktop, you can sort by the platform you want to use, right? Is that what I'm looking at here?
Yep.
I mean, you can have more than one.
That's incredible. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah. And so let me tell you,
they also get off your trial too.
Which free trial. But go ahead, Sean. I interrupted you.
No, I was just saying so the available sites are Quora, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Just for our listeners who may not be looking at the video.
And that's right now. So once we launch on AppSumo, so the launch on AppSumo is for the creators of these automations.
Nice. Okay. So there'll be hundreds.
Yeah. So now we're going to get an influx of more people building, and we've already got. So I say we because basically I'm part of the team, part of the launch team. I'm the like a fractional CMO kind of person, and so we already have a bunch of use cases that users have said, "Hey, can you build this? Can you build that? Can you do this? Can you do that?" So we've got at least 50 use cases for people to come in and just pick a use case and build it. And there are people waiting for that to be done. Wow. But the reason, so I want to get into a little bit about why this works the way it does. So again, like I say, that search bar, the bot is basically doing everything that you would do manually because it doesn't need an API connection, a backend API like a Zapier. Mm-hmm. It uses CSS selectors, which is how websites are built. That front end action, you click a button, you type in a text, that's typing it into a CSS selector. So it uses those things to make the bot do what you would do. Right. And it's running on your machine. So it's not like some server in India,
right?
That's going to flag LinkedIn and go, "Hey, this isn't the right this isn't that person." It's actually running on your machine.
Okay.
In the background.
So what you're saying, I'm on my Facebook page. So you're saying go up here to this search bar in
Correct.
Facebook.
Yep.
And then let's say I was looking for, let's just say copywriting clients.
So are you going to do a certain niche in copywriting?
Let's just say coaches. So what type of?
I'd get more niche than that. You can just do coaches, but I'd get more niche than that.
Let's do fitness coaches.
Yeah.
Just for ease. You're saying, and then you go down to like pages. Is that
pages? Yep. That's for the agency one. Yep. That's for the services one. Yep. You go to pages and then basically there's all your choices for under. Right. Yep. There's all of them. It'll just keep scrolling. It'll just keep profile. You just take that link.
So you take the link that shows up in the browser, and then that's what you stick into the bot.
They're called task bots because they're performing a particular task. So
then what they do is they go through and they pull all of the information for each one of these.
They actually click through to each one. So if you click through to one of those, and you'll see all the details. Click. Yep. And so the bot will automatically close that box because that popped up automatically. It told you that person has a chat bot on their page. Right.
Yeah.
So it's going to take the number of people following. It's going to take the website link.
All this over here.
Yep.
So all the about info basically. Okay.
And then it's going to open up that message tab, see if there's like we said, does it have a get started button? There it is. So that's a chatbot person for sure. That has a chatbot. And then it's going to go down to the transparency to see if they're already doing ads.
Oh, cool.
That's it. So it's going to actually go to the transparency, open that up. Yep. And it'll say this page is currently running ads.
Yep.
It'll copy that, put it in the data table so that you can see, yep, this is a really good potential client because they're already spending money on a service. So they'll be more willing to spend money on mine.
Wow. So it's literally clicking the buttons. That's 5 or 6 or 10 steps.
Yep.
By the time you copy and paste and wow, that is cool.
And then you've got a CSV file of all these people that you can actually download and put into your CRM.
Wow.
Keep track.
So if I had a sales team, I could just
do that.
Loaded. Yeah.
That's exactly. So like there's one for Facebook groups. So I don't know about you guys, but Facebook groups are huge for people trying to find. Yeah. So there's one for Facebook groups. You can go into, here's the secret. You can go into any Facebook group. You don't have to be the owner of it. You can go into any Facebook group that you are a member and scrape all the members.
Wow.
And get all the data from all those members and start reaching out to them. Not only that, you can put a post on a Facebook group and you can automate your responses to any of the comments on your post in a Facebook group.
Goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Anything you can do, anything you would do manually, we can build a task bot to do for you.
Wow. Task bots, huh?
Isn't it crazy? And so the way AI comes into this, obviously artificial intelligence is different than me building a drag and drop, right? So the way AI comes into this is you can create your responses. You can do the copy for your DM. You can go to ChatGPT and say, type an outreach message, short, no more than 200 characters, outreach message for a coach to get a, I don't know, what would you say, to get to do a marketing hook for a coach. There you go.
Interested in my services.
Perfect. Give them a limit because you don't want a huge DM, right? So give them a, no more than 200 characters. I don't know if you could do that or want to do it, but
we'll do 25
see what
words.
they come up with. Yeah, there you go.
Words. They're overloaded. Right?
Yeah, they've been overloaded today.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
I was on a couple times and I got their page with their funny jokes about how overloaded they are. So
Yeah.
I'll try that again later.
Yeah. And so here's the other thing. It's called syntax, right? So you can actually vary some of the words. So if you say, I usually say things like hi there or howdy or how you doing. You can actually put all three of those greetings in the message and the bot will randomly pick one. So it's not like that's another thing Facebook looks for. You're not going to just put the exact same copy on every single DM, in the span of
kind of like the old
seconds.
school article spinners, right? Some of that technology has kind of stepped forward into this.
You're going back like 15 years there.
I know, right, man? Article spinners. Well, now, I mean, that's half of what this AI stuff is doing. It's just spinning content. It's just doing it a lot better than it did before.
And faster.
And faster. Yeah. And not just cheesy a lot of times. Sometimes it is, but not. So let's talk about the other side of this. And I know I think this is one of the reasons you got into it, but you wanted to create some renewing type income. So we've seen like the user case. Tell us about the developer side.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm sure there's some people listening right now that they're like, I got 16 ideas of what, I could use. So kind of tell us about that side and kind of why you got into that.
Yeah, good question. So that's going into my past. And again, right before we met, Sean. So 2017, I started with chatbots and I learned from Andrew Warner how to do this with Bot Academy. And that's the first course I ever paid anything for. And it was $2,500. Oh my God. And
it was like it was worth it though.
Oh, hello. Yeah. But of course, at the time, I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it, but it was, because I'm also a person who, before I actually paid for that, I went out and got 2 clients at $1,000 each to be able to allow me to pay for it. So I didn't, I verified to myself that I could do this and I could sell it. And then it took off. But 3 years later, Andrew came to me and offered for me to take over Bot Academy for him. I'm like, yes, absolutely. Where do I sign? And so I have a group of builders, chatbot builders, website builders, GHL builders, ClickFunnels. We're all that kind of techie, drag and drop kind of techie people.
Yeah.
And so when this Deanna CEO came to me and said, hey, can we talk about Zapier? And I'm like, are you kidding? This isn't Zapier. This is something way better. And we started talking about how she could make it to allow for my builders to be able to come in and do this. Well, that's what we do. So on the back end, it's very similar. It'll look very similar to a chatbot builder, right? You have a building block. You have to do stuff in the building block. Then you connect it to another building block, right? Okay. And you have conditional logic. If I go to a website, like when you open that website with that particular coach and the message box automatically popped up, well, in order to do other things on that site and find the other selectors, we got to close that message block first. So we tell the bot, if the message block comes up because you've been chatting with people on Facebook, close it. And we do that like 3 times. You might have 3 messages open, right? Close all of them. Now go do this. So it's all conditional logic based, repetitive tasks. Once I get the data, then I'm going to make the bot repeat for each one of those data sets, each one of those profile links, open it, gather this information, close it. Now go to the next one. Open it, gather this information, go to the next one. So it's a drag and drop conditional logic builder's tool, just like a chatbot, a ClickFunnels, a GHL, any of those things that we're all familiar with. But it does some pretty cool stuff.
So could you build a task bot to like pull reports and stuff like that?
So one of the things that for us chatbot builders, so our clients have many different CRMs, many different places that they, make sales. So one of my most recent clients for a chatbot is that they actually gather all the sales in a Google Sheet, right? So I have all my leads from the chatbot in that Google Sheet in just another sheet. Well, I'm not going to rely on the email address, because many times in a chatbot, the email address that they use in the chatbot on Facebook is not the same as the email address they used by. So I have to match people. So I'm going to be able to match the people on one sheet with their buyers list. I can build a a task bot to do that. I can do any kind of repetitive task that you would normally have a VA do. you can build a task bot to do.
Yeah. Wow. So we can copy and paste and everything.
Oh yeah. Copy, paste, right click, all of it.
Wow.
Hit keyboards, hit the return key, hit any of the keyboard actions. You can do all those.
Can it check the box that says I'm not a robot?
Good question. I haven't tried that, but I'm sure if the box is there and it's a CSS selector, you can check it.
I mean, you have to check it with a mouse, but I mean, technically you could alt tab until you hit it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
It can tab to the right place and click the thing. It does all those things.
I don't know where you would need that, but I was just wondering.
Yeah. Who knows?
The fact that it's clicking around. I mean, I know it's not actually clicking, but
it's pretty freaky to see it do it. So I've built the bot and then I hit run and it actually, I watch it open the website, click the thing, type in the text.
In the back end, you can see it do all that.
You can either choose to watch it happen or you can choose to make it run in the background.
Yeah, I'm going to have a beer. Like, I'd probably watch it the first time or two, like,
because it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like the first time somebody, tech support took over my screen on my computer.
Same thing. Yes.
I was like, whoa.
It's like a ghost. Yes. Yeah. It's like a ghost is in your computer. And so for the developer, so for the people listening who think, I'm not a developer, but I really want to build a SaaS, that's what this is all about. Like you saw on the screen, you could charge $12 a month, $25 a month. And really, there's no customization. So like I say, GHL, you got to customize everything. You got to go in there and I do templates for chatbots. I've got to customize all the copy according to the client.
Yeah.
No customization. Not only that, the client owns. So if you subscribe to one of these things, you own the data. If I'm the builder of that bot, I can't see your data. I can't touch your data. I have no access to your data, just like you have no access to my task bot.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So if I were to get your, pod bot, you've already got templates and stuff in there and I just modify them, or how does that work?
So there's only one template, one thing you would need. I already described, you just get the link and you go search. The only template you need is what is going to be your DM.
So I don't have, okay. So you've already pre-coded everything.
Everything's done. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is get that link. And you just have to know how many DMs you want sent a day. And I tell you, I have a limit. I won't let you go above the limit that's going to get you shut down.
All right.
How many profiles you want to save. You can choose that each day because remember, you're going to have to go through them and make sure they qualify.
Sure.
So you don't want to do 1,000. And so you choose the number of profiles you want to save. You choose the number of DMs you want to send and you choose what you say in that DM. And I even give you my DM that I just already gave you.
Yeah.
And I also have a mini training on how you can craft your own.
Yeah.
How it's about them, just like we've been talking about. It's really mini, like, hey, it's about them, not you. So remember that. And here's kind of how you can craft your own message. But other than that, there's nothing.
I cannot wait to see what the developer world, it's kind of like apps, right?
Yes.
Apps came out that you would never, you wouldn't dream that the stuff, Uber and some of the stuff we have now would have come out of the app store. Like, you thought that was just going to be like whatever. And then you got these big brain people who are like, no, we can actually take over the taxi industry with an app. And we're like, what? And they did it.
Yeah. And so the builders in my community, myself included, we can now go and build these things and have these ideas and actually offer them. And all we have to do is support our users, just like a normal app, normal software would do. We're supporting what iterations would you like? What would make this easier for you? What would make this more valuable for you? All those kinds of things. And that's all we have to do is just make sure we build.
And it's such a specific task, though, that it's not like a ClickFunnels where they're dealing with all kinds of cross thing, so much stuff that can go wrong.
Yeah.
You're such a narrow thing that really, I guess, you would just have to update when Facebook or whatever platform makes a big change in their user interface, right?
Yes, which happens. I think what I've been seeing so far. So I've been working with this company now for a little over a year, and I think I've had to go in and change some of those selectors because Facebook it's difficult. Facebook is the most difficult to find those selectors. LinkedIn, Quora, Twitter, those guys are easier to find those selectors, the things, the actions. Facebook's really tough. And they change them about every, I think, 3 months is what I've been seeing so far. But all you got to do is go in and find the new one, put it in there, and we're good to go. And they don't know the difference. They don't know that it's a bot because it's working from your computer, acting just like a human.
Yeah. So you could create a bot to like pitch editors of publications, right? All kinds of stuff. Like if you wanted to do more social or more organic type content.
That's what this is all about. Yep.
Yeah.
It's all organic. It's you don't need Facebook ads to do this same thing. It's all organic.
So these are two separate platforms, one for the the publisher of the podcast or whatever media platform, and then one for the one that wants to get on
it. Yeah,
get on it. So
yeah, that's it. So for podcasting, we have both sides, right? We want to go find podcasts to be on. We don't have friends like the wonderful Sean McCool. So we want to go find some podcast we want to be on to promote our stuff. Yeah, you can do this with that.
That's awesome.
Or if we want to find so let's say we remember first podcasting, we run out of friends and family and friends of friends, and we've got to actually go out and find other people we don't know to be on our show. Then you can do that too.
Cool.
That's awesome.
That is, that's cool. My brain is spinning. So
I know. And so I won't even talk about the other things. So once I started diving into this world, I started getting involved with other people. So I'm working on another tool that I'm helping, which is basically video interaction. So you can actually take like a webinar, and instead of having it just play and then somebody stops and you try and send them back to the replay and it starts back at square one again, you could actually put interactions at different parts of the video. And the video stops until they interact, until they answer the question. And then when they answer it, it goes to the next part. But if, let's say, they fall off, you can actually send them a message, whether it's SMS or email, to get them right back to where they left off again. Stuff like that to actually interact.
So like it's choose your own adventure. Does it like
all of it? Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So so mine is, let's say I have a training called Niche to Pitch. And so I'm trying to educate them on why it's important to niche down. And so I'll say, hey, has the niche you've chosen, does it light you up? Yes or no? And if they say no, then I want to send them, here again, it's conditional logic, right? I want to send them to a video saying, dude, would you rather hire a general practitioner or a heart surgeon to do surgery on your heart? So come on, niche down. And you got to enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, what are you spending 80 hours a week sometimes doing something you hate, right? And so then I'll have them watch that video and say, okay, now are you ready to do what lights you up? And they'll say yes, and then they'll go back to the original video again.
Wow.
So it's too much fun.
I mean, that opens up like a world of video sales letters too that you could. Oh wow!
Yeah,
like have an actual. Because one of the reasons I think video sales letters worked and still work in some ways is it's a step closer to an in-person presentation because there's voice, there's, other stuff, inflection, all the different things. But I've often wondered, like when I used to write a lot more copy, that was because I did in-home sales for 15 years. And I'm like, how do you duplicate that? You can try to think about what the questions might be, and you can answer them in your copy, and you can use questions in your copy like you're talking for the reader, which I love to do in ads and stuff. But to actually be able to get their actual answer and then send them, it like takes quiz funnels to a whole new level.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was thinking of when I first got introduced. This is a guy that I've been working with again for probably about at least 3 or 4 years. And he's going this direction. He's like, what do you think about this? I'm like, that's brilliant, because that's exactly it. You can take a quiz and you can personalize the quiz and do it in video form, not text form, because we know how podcasts are. You're in people's ears. They feel very close to you. It's a very intimate thing. And so video is the same way. Most people are listening to video with their earbuds or their headsets. And so it's the same. They get to know you. And so you can imagine a quiz. If you answer a question on a quiz a particular way, you can send them to another training and bring them back to keep going on the quiz. And you can do them short. So here's what I tried to do. I did the first test I did on there, and this is launching in just a couple of days. We're looking for a founders group, beta testers, to to test it for us. And so I took this 7.5-minute video that went through all the blunders, right? It's an application video. So I'm like, okay, so now what are you doing? Then I make a mistake. I'm like, but instead of stopping the video recording, I just keep recording because I can put that entire video up and put in, okay, now once they answer this question, skip all that gobbledygook that I did and go to this point, this actual time code on the video and start there.
Right.
So I just have to do it once. I don't have to be a professional videographer. I don't need any of that baloney. I just do it myself with my phone and upload the whole thing and then put in the chapters and the questions and I'm done. It took me like 15 minutes and I got a whole 7 minutes down to like, I think it was 5 questions.
Yeah.
Done.
I could see using that for, you know, how so many people use like a questionnaire before they do a sales call.
Yeah.
To do that in video.
Yeah.
Would be so powerful. Be like, okay, based on your answers, we think this is the product for you and this is the person you want to talk to at our company.
Yeah.
And then it feels super personalized, which is, what's that called? That's the it's called the Forer effect, which means if you think something is customized to you, you're more likely to believe it.
Yeah.
It's how horoscopes work, right? You think they're customized because there's date, but they're actually Barnum statements. And they're not.
Yes.
Sorry for the numerologist out there.
I know. Yeah.
So
it's
crazy. I mean, I could see that. So yeah, let me know when that's done. Send me a link.
Yeah, I will definitely do that. Yeah, because those are, and once I started getting into this world, these are the things that open up. This is what's being developed now and this is again, much more targeted. It just is doing videos and you can it can use a webhook from Zapier to connect to your ConvertKit, to your ActiveCampaign, to your wherever, so that you can very much put them, let's say they stop at a certain place. It can send you can send them to a email automation to pick up where they left off and say, hey, you didn't see the best part. We're going to talk about XYZ next. You can't miss that. And then send them right back to the video. But it's all on, it just does that. It just does the video. You can connect it to all the other tools you already have. You don't have to switch everything over, like going from a ClickFunnels to a GHL, right?
Right.
That's a nightmare.
I mean, I could imagine, so talk about this, like my brain's really going. So let's have a little brainstorm fun here for the last few minutes.
Let's go.
So imagine I went to a site like Brendan Burchard's site, right? And I've been following long enough. So I get to his site and I say, oh, I want to see what courses he has. So instead of this being here, I could have a video that say, hey, so excited that you're looking for courses. Tell me, are you interested in this, or this?
Right.
Yes.
And then it's going to click, right? I guess there's some type of interaction device below the video.
There's a button. There's a button. There's a hotspot. There's an icon or an emoji. You can use any of those as clickables.
So yeah, so then you just ask them like a quiz, like you ask them the questions and you say, well, you know, based on that, I think the Success Accelerator is probably perfect for you. Here's a link.
And here's why.
Yeah, here's why. And here's a link to the page if you want to go ahead and sign up.
Or here's a link to my my 30-minute webinar, which also has interactions on it. Wow. Or here's a link to my 5-day challenge, 3-day challenge, which also then has links on it, questions on it. Wow. Any of that that's video. If you have let's say you have a demo video and you're explaining to people how something works, you can have questions on that saying, did you get that? Is this what you're looking for? Yes or no? Yes, go to the next part of the demo. No, go to a different product.
It really opens up like, So I think the name TaskBots is great. Like that really, like anything that this kind of goes beyond that. This is beyond a task. This is like a whole new level of interactive marketing.
Yeah. That's a different company. That's called Relatable. And that's what it's called, Relatable. And it's completely different, but it's only video. And all they do is put you can host your video anywhere. You can have a video on your YouTube channel in unlisted, right? Host it there. You don't have to, there's no uploading. There's no none of, you just host it wherever you normally host videos, bring it into the platform, put your questions in the different time codes that you want, have the embed code, put it on your website, and it's right there.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's way cool. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun.
That's cool.
So, I can tell. I mean, it's exciting in your world.
Fun?
So you've got this. I mean, you got this platform ZeroWork.io, or that's where you're launching stuff. Any idea like how many people are using these things right now? I know it's fairly new.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's I think we have about 250 users so far.
Okay.
Again, AppSumo came to the CEO and said, "Hey, we see what you're doing. We'd like to maybe have you launch on AppSumo." So that was good. That was kind of a validation that that it's something to pay attention to. So that's happening, like I said, beginning of February. And AppSumo only does 60 days. So, we've got a 60 days of rocket ship, hair on fire. So we'll do the best we can for that. But that's a fun process on itself, man. Getting the back end of what AppSumo does is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so right now there's 250. I anticipate that climbing pretty fast.
Yeah. But I mean, that's, for people who have always wanted a membership site because of the recurring revenue. There's, like I said, there's two sides to this, right? But I know there's a lot of people out there like, oh man, I'd love a membership, or I have a membership site, but people only last 4 to 5 months. This is a lot stickier because it's software. You just got to find one little problem.
That's it.
And these aren't, this is different from like coaching where you got to find a big problem, bleeding neck. No, this is more like, what's an annoying problem I could get rid of for somebody, right?
It's repetitive, annoying problem that they have to do manually, or they have to hire someone to do manually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
A repetitive, annoying problem.
There you go. Let's make
completely evergreen.
We'll get ChatGPT.
They're always annoying problems.
Yeah, they are. They're repetitive. They're manual. They're annoying. We got to do them.
Yeah, and that's really cool to think that like almost anything a VA could do, you could train, you could build.
Yep.
Do you get hate mail from VAs? I'm just curious.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll look out for them though. But I'll basically tell the VAs, all right, quit giving me hate mail. Just get in there and build your own darn thing. And, then you don't have to worry about hating me. You've got your own recurring revenue.
Take all the tasks that people are paying you for and then build your own
charge
bot.
them the same amount of money to do it, but you're doing the bot that's so cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
And you go have a beer.
Why not utilize this to your own benefit? Quit complaining.
And that's what we've been saying, the last few weeks that we've been talking about AI. It's like, don't be afraid of this stuff. Embrace it. Use it because it's happening. Like you're not stopping this thing. Like it's coming.
Right.
You want to be on the top of the wave, or do you want to be back there trying to swim to catch up to it?
And most of your clients don't know about it.
No.
It's only the people that are, really into or digging deep into this that know.
Or listeners of this show. I mean,
that's it. The cool
very wise listeners of this show. They're on the cutting edge. So
it's so fun.
Well, I've identified 2 that I'm going to be subscribing to after this show. I'm serious. I mean, it's just it's incredible. I mean,
and you can go change. So let's say you do health coaches, in the agency one. Well, then you can do leadership coaches, right? Or you can do what other kind of coaches would there be?
All kinds. Breath work coaches.
You keep switching up because you're going to reach a limit, right? You're going to reach a limit of the number of people in that category. So then you just change it. So I've done all podcasters, right? Or podcast groups, people who belong to podcast groups. I mean, you're just going to keep coming up with new ways to define the market that you want to serve.
Which you'd have to do anyway.
In there and just let the bot do its thing.
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's so fun.
Well, Mary Kathryn, is there any other kind of words of wisdom, or I know I saw on your Instagram profile that you call yourself, or whoever wrote your bio, I'm sure it's you, call yourself the conversational futurist and speaker. So maybe you could leave us with like something you see kind of coming besides this stuff. Is there anything else kind of on your futurist timetable that you want to share with the people?
Yes. Conversations. I love tech. Yes. But really the words get me every time. And 2 things. I'm co-author of a book that's coming out in June of 2023 with Mark Schaefer, who is the author of one of my favorite books, The Marketing Rebellion, Cumulative Advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his book. And so I wrote the chapter in that book on AI. So there's a reason I'm so involved in this. But beyond that, I'm also writing a book in relation to a conversational futurist. It's called LEAP. Well, it'll be Your Success Leap, actually. But LEAP, the letters, I'm an acronym kind of gal. I'm an alliteration kind of gal. So LEAP stands for something. And it's all about conversations and how you dig deeper into solving problems for your audience. So the first thing you're going to do is ask a question, but then you're going to leap. You're going to listen to the answers.
Okay.
And you're going to listen with the light to intent, the truth, to uncover the truth, not with the intent to lead people to where you want them to go, right? You're going to actually listen to their answers. Then you're going to engage with those answers. There's the E. And ask deeper questions. The whole 5 levels of why, right? All that stuff. Find out more deeply what they need. Then the A is adapt your solution to what they tell you. Duh. Adapt what you do to accommodate the ones that make sense. Not all. Yes. Obviously, we know there's outliers. And then the P, can I curse on the show?
Yes.
Persevere with fucking passion. Please, just persevere. Once you do that, you listen, you engage, you adapt, and then you just have to keep doing it because now you've already gathered all the data and you've accommodated what people need. So that's what I will leave you with when you have a conversation, when you're trying to narrow down what you need to do with your company or your conversations with people, leap.
And that applies to building these bots as well.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
It really is listening to the people that you are trying to serve, engaging with them, adapting what you're doing to accommodate what they need, and then just persevere because we know what business is. It's up and down all the time.
Yep, for sure.
So there you go.
When's that book come out?
June?
June. June is the one coming out with Mark Schaefer with AI, and mine is coming out in September.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you're doing the the book that you're contributing to is in June, and then your own book is in September. Okay,
correct.
So we got to have you back on, especially for your book.
Let's go. I love it. I mean, I'll drink wine at 1 p.m. any day of the week. Maybe I'll get one of your beers. I'm telling you, you got to tell me that beer if it tastes good.
I don't know if they sell these. A lot of these Texas beers are just in Texas because the market's so big. They don't. But sometimes you can mail order them, So
I'm thinking of beer like my dad used to drink is like Coors on a cold,
we don't do that on this show.
Summer day, and I just can't do that. So
we don't do that on this show.
No. So give me a good beer and I'll taste it. You bet.
You should check out our sponsor, the Craft Beer Club.
Absolutely.
It's a good one.
They send like good beers and stuff through the mail every month. So Mary Kathryn, where can people find out about you?
callmemkj.com.
Okay.
And all social profiles, it's just call me MKJ because most people don't know how to say Mary Kathryn Johnson or spell Mary Kathryn Johnson because the Kathryn is a little bit different. So just call me MKJ.com or call me MKJ at all the social profiles. That's my handle.
All right. Easy.
And if you want to email me, I'm cool with that. mk@callmemkj.com.
All right.
Love it. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
I filled up my notebook. I know Sean was writing. I was writing. I have looking to some services for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
I don't know if Jonathan will be able to read the last half of his notes with that. How'd that beer finally kick in?
It kicked in. I'm very
That's why he's so nice.
He's very.
I gave it another 0.5 rate, so it's up to 4.9.
Yeah, he's mellowed out now.
You guys are so cool. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
No, yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, this is, we'll be posting a link to, where our listeners can find out and click on subscribe or, obviously test drive it for 30 days, which is cool. You get obviously a 30 days to kind of try things out, see how it works for you. So,
yeah.
There's even a birthday bot. That's cool.
There's one that actually will actually respond to all of your birthday notifications for you, automated.
That's cool. I'd like to have one that actually reaches out on my friends' birthdays.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
like a day before, even. That'd be cool.
John, we need an AI bot for beer.
Beer
just
selections.
Like beer selections. So
there's
got to work on that.
It could go on it could go on Tapped or one of those websites, and
absolutely.
Can you imagine selling that to all the beer craft beer makers?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right. Well,
we're gonna work on that.
Mary Kathryn, we're gonna put you back in the green room for just a minute while we wrap up. And do you have a second so we can talk to you after the show?
You betcha.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in just a minute.
That was amazing.
Yeah, so many opportunities there, and
it's a new world, Sean.
I know. It's like I said, between the no coding and AI, I think this is the first, to me, the first group of technology that may actually deliver on some of the promises of less work, more productivity.
Yeah. Do you remember that work? Or not the work, the book that was written back in the I think it was the 70s, The End of Work. I'm trying to remember the author.
Yeah, I've heard the
I
title.
think we've actually gotten to that point.
We may finally be there.
We may finally be there. Where
to the
point where it's not the end of work, but it's the end of monotonous work.
Right.
That really sucks up your time.
Yeah.
I was just interviewing, this AI stuff is incredible. I was interviewing earlier today on my manufacturing podcast, a company that's using AI to help, manufacturers out there. They're literally helping them reduce their energy costs. And what this AI software does is really negotiate. It checks out the energy costs real time, what the current market rate is, and helps them negotiate better pricing.
That's crazy. Well, that Rocket Money app that'll cancel your subscriptions and stuff for you.
Yeah.
It'll actually go in and cancel your subscriptions for you. It's got to be using some type of messaging AI as well. So it's everywhere. And that's what I've been trying to tell people who are a little either wary of it or they're like, it's whatever. I'm like, no, it's already happening. You're not gonna sidestep this.
Don't fight it.
So yeah. All right.
Here, man.
As
eventually we will be literally there'll be AI versions of us doing a podcast in the next 10 years.
Yeah. We'll just still drink the beer though.
We'll still drink the beer as our virtual characters will be going on and on.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
All right.
Let's wrap
to all of our listeners, you can find us persuasionbythepint.com. You can find us on all of your podcast platforms, Stitcher Radio, iHeart, Spotify, you name it. And thank you all for listening. Thanks to all of our listeners on platforms like our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We got some Twitch comments there coming in, but we can address those at a later time. But thanks again. We'll see you guys on the next episode, which we're going to record here shortly. We're going to knock out a second episode today.
Cool.
And Sean will be out of pocket next week. So look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
See ya.
All right.